3 tricks you really should know if you ever plan on trying to buy a property at the mortgage foreclosure auction. Now I'm talking about the real auction, the auction where either the bank is going to take possession of the property or a third party is going to outbid the bank and they're going to take possession. One of those 2 scenarios is going to happen. Trick number 1 has to deal with occupancy. How can you tell if a property is occupied if you've never been to the property? Before I show you the trick, I want to show you something that I do on each property and why you can't use maps to determine if the property is occupied or not. So I'm putting in my address on the local county property appraiser's website, and I'm going down here and I'm looking for the actual maps, and right here it shows you the property we're talking about. What I want to do is I want to open the map because I want to find out what year this aerial was taken. And on this county's website, it's going to show you right here, it was done in 2022. Okay, so there's the subject property. You can see there's a garage, concrete slab, in-ground pool, mobile home, carport, not really anything out in the lot at all. Next, I'm gonna go check Google Earth. So here's the same property, same thing, garage. Property looks pretty nice, all cleaned up, big concrete slab. Looks like there's some kind of fence maybe around the pool area here. Now let me show you what the property looks like today. You can see where the garage was, but it's of course been burnt down. Inside of the mobile home has been totally destroyed and burnt. So you just can't go by the aerial maps. I always look at them because I want to see a little bit of a history of the property, but you can't rely on them for any type of occupancy check, not at all. Tip number 1, you're going to use the final judgment document to determine the occupancy. Let me show you exactly how you do that. The fastest way to pull the final judgment document is go to your clerk of the court's official records website. Every county has one here in the state of Florida. And just put in the name of the actual defendant on the case, the person who's getting foreclosed on, submit it. Once it opens up, I always change my dates to see what was the latest thing that's on the record. And right here, final judgment. That's what you're looking for right there. Once you open the final judgment, you're looking for all the dollar amounts and just keep scrolling down and looking. And bingo, this is what you're looking for right here. Property inspections, property preservation, $9,500. I can just about guarantee you that this property is going to be vacant. The bank or servicer will never spend money and do anything to a property if they deem it occupied. If there's lights on, power's on, cars in the driveway, the yard's kept up, kids' toys out front, they're not going to do anything. They're never going to rekey a property or start doing any preservation work if they deem the property's occupied. So this is the quickest, easiest way while you're doing research to tell if a property's occupied or not. Okay, here's another one. Property preservation, property inspections. The property inspections a lot of times they will be actual BPOs. You'll also see those put down some of them as valuations. These right here are telling me that they've already rekeyed this property. They've probably done some lawn maintenance or some exterior, maintenance, but they have preservation charges. This means this property is more than likely going to be vacant. But trying to determine if it's occupied or not just by looking at paperwork, this is how you tell right here. Look for your preservation inspections. Once you find these, you're gonna have a really good idea that the property is occupied. What happens if you bid on the property and win, but the property is occupied? And I get this question a lot. So tip number 2 is going to deal with the eviction process and time frame it takes to get someone out of the house. So in section 6 of the Florida Final Judgment document deals with the right of redemption, the right of possession. Let's take a look at the last line. Upon a filing of their certificate of title, the person named on their certificate of title shall be let into possession of the property. This is exactly what allows third-party buyers to get the occupants out really fast, and it's 24 to 48 hours. This is a really good example. This is from an attorney that filed for a writ of possession. So the buyer of this property had his attorney send in a motion to direct the clerk to issue the writ of possession. The undersigned, on behalf of ABC Company, as holder of the certificate of title, hereby requests the court issue an order instructing the clerk of the county court to issue a writ of possession, and as reasons therefore states as follows. On November 4th, 2020, the court entered a final judgment of foreclosure in the above styled case. The court's final judgment of foreclosure indicated that purchaser at the sale obtained a further order from the court instructing the clerk to issue a writ of possession in the event that the defendants fail to vacate the premises after their certificate of title has been issued. Defendants have not vacated the premises and a certificate of title is issued to ABC Company. The property is not subject to the Protecting Tenants at Foreclosure Act, and this motion does not seek any order that violates the tenant's rights to continue occupancy under the Federal Protecting Tenants at Foreclosure Act. Wherefore, the purchaser, ABC Company, respectfully requests that the court enter an order directing the clerk to issue a writ of possession on premises. And with this motion, the Sheriff's Department issued the writ of possession at the premise the next day. So it took less than 24 hours. I'm going to wrap it up with tip number 3, and this also has to deal with the property being occupied. If you do a drive-by or you determine that a property is occupied and it's something that you're really serious on bidding on, some of my best advice is get in front of the people that are living in that house. Knock on the door, send them letters. If you're really interested in buying the property, get in front of these people if at all possible. And here's why. You want to learn as much about the property as possible. You definitely want to learn about the condition of the property, especially in the interior. But as important, you want to learn the mentality of these occupants. What are their plans? Are they planning on moving? Are they planning on playing hardball? Do they want to stay and fight it? You've already seen how fast it is to evict somebody or to get them out of the house once you get the actual certificate of title and file for your writ of possession. It's very, very fast. But the last thing you want is for these people sitting in the property, because you got to remember, it takes a minimum of 10 days to get their certificate of title once you have the winning bid and send in the remainder of your money in that day. So at least 10 full days, these people can be sitting in this house getting aggravated, getting upset, and could possibly cause some damage. One of the tricks that I suggest to people, and depending on the mentality of the people that are in the house, and that's why you want to get in front of them, is do what the banks do. Offer them cash for keys. And this is where the bank will go in and say, I'll give you $1,000 if you'll move out within 21 days, and the only condition, you don't have to fix anything, but the only condition is that you leave the home in broom swept condition. A lot of times this will help people take better care of the property the last few days they're in the house, because like I said, you don't want them doing damage. I've seen it where occupants have gone in the attic, they've cut every electrical wire in the house, cut the plumbing, PVC pipes, cut all the telephone cables, they cut everything. I've seen them where they've dumped cement in the toilets. Okay, so people unfortunately will do damage. If you can get in front of these people, find out what their intentions are, what their mentality is, it might save you a ton of money. That'll do it for this video. If you haven't already, make sure and hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below and I'll be glad to answer. Thanks again.